PK Newbie Food and Nutrition. What Everyone Needs to Know, narrated by Stephen Schiller and Alex Vincent. Food is a topic that has always sparked intense discussions, but in recent years, the debate has reached new heights. The focus has shifted beyond the healthiest diet or the best weight loss approach to considering where our food comes from and how it is produced. It's evident that the food industry has played a role in greenhouse gas emissions and climate change, prompting many of us to seek out more sustainable food choices. By improving our eating habits, we can lead healthier lives and contribute to a greener planet. This video will provide guidance as you continue watching, helping you make informed decisions. Chapter 1. Is your diet important? Absolutely. Explaining why is tricky, but we can simplify it. Healthy eating impacts you and the planet. Your health. Better food choices prevent 80% of chronic diseases. Your diet matters. The planet. Our current food production harms land, sea, and air. It contributes to climate change with greenhouse gases. We produce more food, but waste 1.3 billion tons. It's a waste of resources and money. So what now? Let's be mindful of what we eat, how much we need, and where it comes from. Our food choices reflect our values. We have the knowledge and technology to create sustainable systems. It's time to act. Reconsider the food systems we support. Chapter 2. Food production has undeniably become more efficient, thanks to the widespread adoption of concentrated animal feeding operations, CAFOs, in the meat industry during the 1970s. This has resulted in reduced food, water, and land requirements for beef, milk, and egg production. In fact, the carbon footprint of beef production has decreased by 16% since CAFOs became prominent. However, these statistics don't provide the complete picture. The main point here is that while modern farming practices may be efficient, they are detrimental to the planet. CAFOs rely on the use of chemicals, hormones, and antibiotics to promote faster animal growth and prevent infections. Unfortunately, these substances often end up in our food and drinking water. As a result, humans indirectly consume antibiotics intended for farm animals. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in the U.S. has established a direct correlation between antibiotic use in the food industry and the rise of antibiotic resistance in humans. The harm caused by CAFOs extends beyond antibiotic resistance. In 2015 alone, there were nearly 5,000 fatalities among American farmers, ranchers, and agricultural managers, making it the second most dangerous occupation after professional driving. Workers face hazardous machinery, unsafe conditions, and severe air pollution. The noxious odor emitted by industrial farming complexes is a mixture of gases, including methane, ammonia, hydrogen sulfide, nitrous oxide, and others. Routinely inhaling these gases can lead to respiratory illnesses such as asthma and chronic bronchitis. Moreover, when these substances enter the atmosphere, they contribute to climate change. Recognizing these concerns, the U.S. beef industry is currently reassessing its operations to address health risks. The European Union has already banned the use of hormones in cattle. Given the issues associated with CAFOs, it's worth questioning why meat, dairy, and eggs hold such significance and understanding their nutritional value. We'll explore this topic further in the next video. Chapter 3. People rely heavily on meat for essential nutrients, with pork being the most consumed meat worldwide, 36%, followed closely by poultry, 35%, and beef, 22%. In 2018, each person produced over 200 pounds of red meat and poultry. However, excessive meat consumption poses risks to both health and the planet. While meat offers valuable nutrients like zinc, vitamin B, iron, and protein, too much red and processed meats can be problematic. Pork has the highest calorie content, 310 calories for 3 ounces, followed by beef, 245, lamb, 235, goat, 122, and chicken, 120. The healthiness of meat depends on the type and portion. Overconsumption of red meat, including beef, pork, veal, lamb, goat, and mutton, as well as processed meats like bacon or salami, can be harmful. Processed meats contain high levels of salt, sugars, preservatives, and may contain carcinogens from smoking or grilling. Research has linked processed meat consumption to increased cancer risk, with just 50 grams per day raising colorectal cancer risk by 18%. Similarly, a daily intake of 100 grams of red meat increases colorectal cancer risk by 17%. Cooking methods and correlations with stomach or prostate cancer are still being studied. Although popular in Western diets, reducing red meat intake can balance nutritional benefits with risks. It's important to be mindful of meat consumption to maintain a healthy diet. Chapter 4. Technology has revolutionized the world, including the food industry. Refrigeration enables longer food transportation, and canning, packaging advancements allow mass preservation. Chemical additives extend shelf life. However, what do we mean by processed food? Let's clarify. The main point is that processed foods exist on a spectrum, ranging from healthy to unhealthy. Most of our food is processed to some extent. Minimally processed foods undergo simple stages like washing or dehydrating, e.g., canned fruit, dried beans. Ultra-processed foods include packaged bread, sugary snacks, breakfast cereals, potato chips, and frozen pizzas. Minimally processed foods are generally healthier, but it's not absolute. Canned fish and frozen fruits, vegetables can be nutritious, as flash frozen produce retains vitamins. Surprisingly, frozen fruit may be better than fresh produce that has traveled long distances. Ultra-processed food, on the other hand, is unequivocally detrimental to health and the planet. High in sugar, salt, and pollutants, these foods contribute to climate change. Their production and packaging are resource-intensive. Unfortunately, many countries heavily rely on ultra-processed foods, e.g., Brazil, Canada, Australia, Sweden, Norway, and the US. Americans derive nearly 60% of their energy from such foods. If buying pre-packaged foods, always check the nutritional label for information. Chapter 5. Food labels can be confusing, with terms like conventional, organic, and natural being thrown around. Differentiating between cage-free and free-range eggs can be puzzling too. However, these labels can still aid in making better choices. The main point is that food labels can be misleading or meaningless, but they can still provide some useful information. Let's explore some common misconceptions. Starting with organic, its precise definition may vary by region, but it generally refers to farming practices. In the US, organic farming prohibits genetic engineering and synthetic pesticides. However, organic produce may still contain naturally derived substances like rotenone, which has been linked to increased Parkinson's disease risk. Washing organic produce before consumption is advisable. Now, the term natural is mostly a marketing tactic used to make one food appear healthier than another. Granola bars labeled as natural can still be packed with added sugar. Now, let's tackle the confusion surrounding eggs. Various labels like cage-free, free-range, certified organic, and pasture-raised exist. Unlike some other labels, these terms do hold meaning. For commercial egg production, several birds can be confined to a single battery cage with limited space to move. Cage-free indicates that the birds are not in cages but are confined in warehouses with minimal space. Free-range or free-roaming means the birds have some outdoor access, although the specifics can vary. It could be a small outdoor space that may not be utilized by the birds. Certified organic eggs must be free-range and meet regional organic certification standards, although practices may vary. Pasture-raised is more specific, indicating that the birds spend their days outdoors and nights in a barn. They often have diets including natural elements like grass and worms. This method is widely considered one of the most humane. In summary, while food labels can be confusing or misleading, they can still provide valuable insights for making informed choices. Chapter 6. There was a time when eggs received negative attention due to concerns about cholesterol. In 1968, the American Heart Association advised limiting cholesterol intake in egg consumption. It was believed that dietary cholesterol contributed to LDL cholesterol, associated with heart disease. However, scientific advancements clarified that the cholesterol in eggs has minimal impact on LDL. The main point here is that misconceptions remain regarding dietary cholesterol and GMOs. Eggs do contain cholesterol, around 185 milligrams per egg, but studies in 1999 and 2013 found no connection between egg consumption and heart disease or high LDL levels. Some uncertainty remains for individuals with type 2 diabetes and their risk of heart disease. But cholesterol and eggs are no longer considered a concern by the dietary guidelines for Americans. The discussion extends to GMOs, genetically modified organisms. GMO crops have been used in the U.S. since the 1990s, sparking debates and misunderstandings. Genetic engineering can alter a plant's traits for improvement or removal. Extensive testing has demonstrated the safety of genetic engineering, with a meta-analysis of over 1,500 studies showing no significant health or environmental risks. GMO crops can even offer benefits such as water conservation, reduced carbon footprint, and decreased pesticide usage. One study revealed a 22% higher crop yield, 37% less pesticide use, and nearly 70% more profit for farmers. While the topic may seem complex, the science of food and nutrition is nuanced. In the next video, we will explore another common misconception. Chapter 7. American nutrition habits have historically demonized fat, but the reality is more nuanced. Just as there are good and bad types of cholesterol, there are also good and bad fats. Similarly, bacteria can have positive and negative effects. This complexity can be confusing, so let's unravel some of these concepts. The main point here is that not all fat is detrimental to health, and beneficial bacteria can promote a healthy gut microbiome. There are two main types of fats, saturated and unsaturated. Unsaturated fats can be further divided into mono-unsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. Polyunsaturated fats, which are liquid at room temperature, include examples like olive oil. Unsaturated fats are healthier for the heart and can contain beneficial components such as vitamin E, omega-3, and omega-6 fatty acids, which are difficult to obtain from other sources. Polyunsaturated fats can also aid in blood sugar control and insulin resistance, particularly beneficial for individuals with type 2 diabetes. Now, let's focus on bacteria. You may have heard of the gut microbiome, where a significant 90% of the body's bacteria reside. These bacteria play vital roles, including metabolic functions. Some studies suggest that you can influence your microbiome by consuming a variety of seasonal foods throughout the year. Two categories of food support a healthy microbiome: probiotic and prebiotic foods. Probiotic foods, such as yogurt and fermented foods like kimchi, contain live organisms that benefit the gut. On the other hand, prebiotics provide substances like fiber and refined starches that nourish and support gut bacteria. In 2014, a review of 43 studies on probiotics found a 21% reduction in irritable bowel syndrome symptoms, such as bloating and abdominal pain, with the consumption of fermented foods like yogurt. Yogurt has also demonstrated potential in managing diarrhea. Therefore, neither bacteria nor fat can be universally labeled as detrimental to health. The answer is far from a simple yes. Last Chapter 8. Diets come and go in popularity, and it's possible you've tried a few over the years. However, the reality is that one size does not fit all. Diets primarily focus on adjusting the proportions of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins in your meals. Some diets advocate for low-fat consumption, while others prioritize high-protein or low-carbohydrate foods. One popular diet in recent years is the ketogenic diet, which emphasizes low carbohydrate intake and encourages the body to burn fat instead of carbs. While this diet can promote weight loss, it may require challenging lifestyle changes, such as giving up bread. The main point here is that when choosing a weight loss diet, it's important to consider the scientific aspect of calories. Diets only work if you adhere to them, and the more demanding a diet is, the less likely you are to strictly follow it. Additionally, many diets fail to consider the broader context of overall health. We should be asking what truly matters for our well-being. The field of nutrition has often focused on minor details, and with the overwhelming amount of advice available, it can be challenging to adhere to it all. Diets further complicate matters by adopting a reductionist viewpoint. Eat this, avoid that. However, they often disregard the crucial interplay between different foods and nutrients. Ultimately, nutrition follows the principle that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. While many diets share the practice of counting calories, the fundamental rule for weight loss remains burning more calories than you consume. Other factors, such as having a supportive network, are also important. However, at the core, It's all about the mathematics of calorie intake. In the end, we each have unique bodies and microbiomes, so our response to different diets will vary. Fortunately, we do have knowledge of the nutrients we require and how to obtain them in environmentally conscious ways. Please subscribe, like, and leave us a comment as we always appreciate your feedback. Hope to see you again in the next one on this channel.